delayed start. Thank you everyone for joining the package Think Big for the month of June. Joam, you have the first agenda item if you want to kick us off.
Yeah, so we were supposed to see this on the previous Think Big, but we didn't have time. And we were also waiting for more data to fill in the dashboards, but we still don't have it. So I'm just going to show a date in the past where some activity happened. So let me share. So this is the online garbage collection dashboard for the registry. This is only filled in pre-production, no staging yet. But basically this summarizes everything that's going on with the garbage collection. It's the overview section where we can have a glance at the size of the queues, if there are a lot of stuff queued for review or not. Also glancing over the storage space that was recovered by deleting stuff from the storage backends, the time that it takes to do the analysis, if something should be deleted or not, and also the median delete latency, both on storage and at the database. You can also see that so far no run has failed. And then there is a breakdown for each one of the most important metrics, and that are for the queues. We can see the pending tasks. We can see the postponed tasks. When something wrong happens, the garbage collector will try to postpone the review of that task for a future date, so that it doesn't keep retrying it over and over again. So it's like an exponential backoff. We also see the time between reviews, because we have two workers, the blob worker and the manifest worker, and they run at a configurable cadence. So that's what we are seeing here. They kick in and they back off, waiting for the next run, for the next time to come. We also have the run rate. So basically, how many operations, how many runs are we having per second? So these are operations per second. Then we have the breakdown to see how many of those were successful fails, or those that there was nothing to do. So this is because the workers, the online GC workers, will always kick in at that predefined cadence. But when they kick in, that maybe there is nothing to be done. There are no tasks queued. So those show up here. We can see that most of the time it kicked in, there was nothing to do. And then we have the latencies. This is all for the P90. We have the aggregate for each one of the workers, and then we have the breakdown for successful, failed, and noob runs as well. We can see that whenever there is something to do, it always finishes around half a second. And then we also have the delete rates. So this is how much deletes are the garbage collector executing, both on the database and on the storage backend per second. And then we break it down by the type of artifact that is being deleted. And we have blobs and manifests. So blobs are deleted both on the database and storage backend, but manifests are only present on the database. And finally, we have the delete latencies, and here we can see how much time does it take to delete something, either from the database or the storage backend. And similarly, we can see that for the database, it's hovering around 30-35 milliseconds. And for storage, is around the 300 milliseconds. And this is for blobs, and we also have the latency for deletes of manifests on the database. Yeah, that's pretty much it. In case anyone is curious, there is a description for each one of the metrics, and that's it.
So, super good. I've seen it before, but I'm wondering if we need to, with the blob queue size and the manifest queue size, I'm wondering if we should add 2 extra, which are, it's good to know the total queue size, but I think having the size of the queue that's actually ready to be reviewed versus like things that are in like a review delay, I think that would be an interesting thing to have at a glance. And I know we can sort of tell that from the no ops and the wait time, but I think having just the numbers would be like a good pop in and a good health metric to have.
Yeah, I agree. Also for that, we have to count the rows on the queues, and right now every single worker would have to do that because we can't limit the number of actors in the cluster. So that would be a performance penalty, but definitely something that we should look at once that is no longer a problem.
Just out of curiosity, this is it possible to have some sort of alerting, or where, if I would be checking this dashboard, how would I know that there is probably an alarming size of tasks queued or some other metric? How do we see this?
Yeah, we have thresholds for each one of these metrics, and within those thresholds, we define what's tolerable or not. And if some of these metrics go above the tolerated threshold, they can trigger an alarm. For pre-prod, we don't have that because it's not a critical environment, but for production, we will have that. And on top of it, we also, let me check. We also have the garbage collection service level indicators, which are basically an aggregate to alert us if something goes wrong. So let me, oh, it's overview. Yeah, so this is basically the aggregate for the number of runs that are executing and the amount of time that it takes to review something. And this also have thresholds. And if something goes up those, which are here, 1 second, this red line, an alarm would be triggered. Okay, if that's all, I'll stop sharing. And David has the next point.
Yeah, thanks. So I have the showing off the CI pipeline for packages. Do you want me to go through the demo quickly? And we can discuss. Everyone saying yes. Okay. Let me share my screen then. Yeah, this one. Okay. So the idea is the following. I have 3 private projects that each one of them has a pipeline for the repository. So when there is a change, there is a npm package that is built, and this package is pushed to the package registry, which is public. Sorry, do you see my screen? Do you need me to increase the font size? Yes. Yeah, it's always the same. Of course. Is it better? Okay. So as I said, 3 private projects, each one building an npm package, and this npm package will be pushed to the public package registry, which is simply an empty public project. And so we can check here in the package registry that we have our 3 packages. And on this screen, I added the CI status for the pipeline for the package. So these ones are green, but not this one. We can click on it. And this is the standard screen for the pipeline with the jobs. I have 4 jobs trying to validate the package. I wanted to show different aspects of package validation. So one of them is license compliance. Is the license file the one we expect? The other one is linking the package JSON file, which contains metadata about the package, and make sure that there are some fields present there. The third one is npm audit. So this one is the standard npm audit command. So it will take the package and analyze its dependencies and check if there is any high security vulnerability on it. And the last one is Package Hunter. So Package Hunter is a tool developed at GitLab that will take a package and analyze what happens when we install that package. And in this case, this npm package is trying to read some information about the environment variable where it is installed and try to read the value and send it to a third-party server. So that's exactly what happened with the package dependency security thing we heard about some weeks ago. We will go over each one and try to fix each issue. So for that, I will simply open the project of that package and open it on the browser environment. So first one, the license. So we can see that we expect the MIT license. It seems that it's not what we have. It is not. So I'm going to fetch the MIT license text. Here. And replace that. Okay, that's one job. Next one. Analyzing the package JSON file. And well, it seems that the author field is required. So yeah, that's true, we don't have it. Also, because we are working together in this. Next one should be npm audit. So we can check the report here. We have this package has a dependency on Lodash, which this the version that is used as a high security vulnerability. So we will just update the dependency. Here it is. And the last job, which is Package Hunter. So we can see the results of this analysis, and in all of these things, we can see this rule. There is a connection on a third-party server or address, and that is super fishy. And it's triggered by this thing. So post install is a script that is executed when the package has finished his its installation. So we simply curl and send the value of the path environment variable to a third-party server. So we will just remove that because that's not what we want. I'm going to commit those changes. Before that, we need to bump the version number because the npm package registry doesn't allow duplicates upload, meaning that I can't upload again for version 12. So we need to upload a new version. I'm going to commit on the main branch. That's just a shortcut. Usually you would open a merge request and review it. So this project has a standard pipeline. Here it is. You can even check it, which will just take the code source, build the package, and then deploy that npm package to the public package registry. And when that upload happens, the package registry will have a pipeline going. So we can, it's a standard pipeline object, so it will appear here in the pipelines screen. Here it is. And we should have a green pipeline. Yeah, it does already finished. Yeah, here it is. The new version we created, and now we have a green pipeline. This package registry has been modified so that when you try to pull an npm package, those that don't have a green pipeline cannot be pulled. So this package can be pulled by npm install fruits, bananas, and this version specifically. But this version can be pulled because it has a green pipeline. A small thing to note is that we have the code source of the package and the package registry in the same location or same group, but it could be very well in different locations, meaning that we could host the code source for the package elsewhere, build it elsewhere, and just have something pushing the package to the package registry. It will not change anything for the package pipeline because it will just get triggered when the package is uploaded, and we will just run the jobs as usual. But I wanted to highlight that there are many different architectures that are compatible with those package pipelines. Yeah, that's about it for the demo. And I think one thing I didn't show in my previous video is that you can open a package. Well, it's not straightforward here for npm because, as I said, we don't allow duplicates to be uploaded. But for example, Maven packages, you could have many package files, and each package file is a like separated upload, and thus we have dedicated CI pipeline for each package file. So that's why I put a CI pipeline status here too. And then on the packages list, it's just retrieving the status of the most recent file. And that's about it. I try to get the notifications working. So meaning that we could have an email when the pipeline fails, just as when a standard pipeline fails, the user that triggered that is notified. It's not working, but I suspect that it is because the pipeline has an event, which is a brand new event, which is a push package event. And I'm suspecting that the notifications are configured by event types, and that's why. But I guess that it's quite simple to add those notifications. Another thing to see is that, yeah, you look at all the things that that were brought for free, like this small icon. This is a view component. I just pulled the view component and plug it in the screen, and it worked without any modification. I just passed the pipeline and it worked. The same for this screen. I didn't change anything on the screen. It's as it is on .com, and you can see your pipelines working. There are a few things that are not working because pipelines usually refers to a branch, but package pipeline doesn't have this concept of a branch. So that's some things that don't work, but still out of the box is still working well. And the same for the pipeline details. We have all the jobs. I didn't do anything here. It's the same code as the one running on .com. Same here.
This is awesome. Where's the pipeline defined?
Yeah, so good question. I had this problem that a pipeline is defined by a YAML file. So currently you have one YAML file for the what we can call the repository pipeline. And of course, the YAML for the package pipeline will be different. So for that, I didn't support two different files. I simply used a single file for all the packages, but it will also be used for the repository pipelines. So we will need a settings here for this thing. Like this is the configuration file for the repository pipelines, and we will need something similar for the package pipeline. And currently, so it is in the packages project, and it is in a specific folder. So here it is. This is the YAML for the package pipelines. But we will need a way to support two of them, because you can have the case where the source code of a package and the package repository is in the same place, which is a single project.
And then how do you trigger this pipeline from your main source code project? Is that on package push events basically?
Yeah, it's on the upload endpoint on the API. When it receives and it successfully creates a package, right after that, it will create a pipeline. And then once the pipeline is created, it's picked up by a background worker that will prepare it for the runner. And then it will basically read this file, create all the jobs, make them available for runners, and then the runner will pick it up as any other job.
And one more rapid question. You mentioned that the project will not allow downloading a package that's in a failed pipeline state. Is that a new setting that you added for that?
No, it's currently it's hard coded, but we need definitely a setting for that. It's basically in the endpoints for the download package action for npm. I just hard coded if this package doesn't have a green pipeline, it will not be available. But yeah, we need a setting for that.
I had another question. Could this also work for container images? If we wanted to run similar types of checks or something like that?
That would be a bit harder because, well, the container registry team members can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you push an image, that request goes directly to the container registry. So the Rails backend doesn't have a reliable mean to know that there is an image that has been pushed. We do have some events, but I think I read those are not reliable. So you could miss a push action.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes sense. But in the future, in a happy future where we know every time an image is pushed, we would be able to, as long as we know that something has been pushed to a registry or maybe pulled through the dependency proxy, we could run similar pipelines.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's iteration 2.
Yeah.
Okay. If there is no other questions, I will stop sharing my screen. Oop.
Thanks, David. That was awesome. I think I have the next item. If there was no other questions, Steve, I saw you change your background. Okay. So I don't have a lot of details, and I'm sure details would be more helpful for this conversation. But I was on a call with a large enterprise customer who is not particularly interested in moving to the package registry. We kind of were just talking about it, and they were like, well, what kind of scale do you handle? And I mentioned that we support, hundreds of millions of events. And they mentioned that they have billions of events. And it just got me wondering, how can we help some of these larger customers as they start to think about moving to GitLab package? How can we make them feel comfortable that we can, one, handle their scale, and two, how can we make ourselves feel comfortable that it won't be a problem? So it was just that's kind of the question I'm asking. Not necessarily can we handle billions of downloads per day or something like that, but more so how can we make customers feel like, okay, you're moving terabytes of data or a petabyte of data to the registry. Can we handle that? Yes or no? And then Joan, I saw you added some helpful comments there if you want to verbalize those.
Yeah, so I think that requires multiple steps. So I think the first one is identifying the use cases and the usage patterns with the customer. So trying to understand what is the use that they will give to the package registry or the container registry. For example, how many images you push or pull per day or per week, whatever time frame it is. Try to quantify that, and then, if possible, break them down by type or action, like push, pull, and this works both for the container and the package registries. And once we have that, I think the next step is trying to understand what's the percentage of that, what percentage would that represent on our current request rate. So if we are handling 1,000 requests per day and the customer is expecting to do 10 of them, so that's 10%. That's a 10% increase. Probably it's nothing to worry about, but if they want to go much higher, that may be 20%, 30% of what we currently handle for every customer that we have. And in that case, it would likely be a problem. So this would need to be discussed with infra and development to see if that X percentage increase would be a problem or not. Yeah, I think that's it.
That makes a lot of sense. And so we would have to handle it on a customer by customer basis. And probably if we were going to have a large enterprise customer like the one I mentioned, we would know in advance. So it would be something we could do. We could prep for that. And I saw that you shared, we currently handle 340 million reads and 9 million writes per week for the container registry. I could generate that same data using the usage ping that we have for the package registry and just say, this is what we currently support. And basically anything plus 10% of over our total now, anything more than 10%, I should bring back to the team and say, okay, let's check. Is there any concerns about handling this?
Yeah, that 10% I just came up with it. 10% is probably already pretty significant. But yeah, we should determine what is the percentage that needs to be, that should make it a discussion between infra and development before acknowledging to the customer, yeah, that won't be a problem to handle whatever you want to do on our platform. But yeah, that would be the idea.
Okay, I mean, that's helpful even to have those numbers, and yeah, to have this process to fall back on is helpful. On the specific customer, like I said, they're pretty happy with their current solution. It might be something that in the future they were thinking about moving to GitLab. So if I have another call with them, I could dig in. But we have a couple of other large enterprise customers. I have a call this week, tomorrow with one, and they're talking about moving terabytes to the package registry. So this will be a good opportunity to test this workflow. Okay, I'm sure we had another item, but we are about out of time, so we might have to hold off on that one. Okay, any other comments before we break? No? In that case, thanks everyone for your help, for the demos and everything. It was great. And I will talk to you later. Bye.